Shalom. This week we are reading Parashat Masei, beginning with the book of Numbers, Sefer Bemidbar, chapter 33, concluding the book of Numbers. And many times the chapters Matot and Masei are actually read together, and of course this year we are reading them separately. You know that the fifth book of the Torah, which we are about to begin, the book of Devarim, is called Mishnah Torah. It's really distinct in its essential character. It's considered to be a review of the previous four books of the Torah. So in a way, there is room, in the words of our sages, to see the written Torah as consisting of Genesis through Numbers. And Sefer Devarim, the Mishnah Torah, the review of the written Torah, is kind of another level altogether. Now there is a teaching from our Holy Zohar that the beginning and the end are implanted in each other. That is the expression. The beginning and the end are implanted in each other. And in a way we can see a certain idea of this beginning and end implanted in each other between the beginning of Genesis and the end of the book of Numbers, which is actually, in a way, kind of like the end of the written Torah before this new level of revelation in the book of Devarim, the Mishnah Torah. You see, our sages of blessed memory teach regarding the act of creation back in the book of Genesis that God made a stipulation with the world before creation, sort of a vow. And what is that stipulation? That if the children of Israel shall accept and guard the Torah, then the world will exist. But if not, God forbid, if the children of Israel would not accept and guard the Torah, then the world would revert back to nothingness. We can actually see this in this, as it were, final portion of the written Torah, Parashat Masei, final portion, of course, of the book of Numbers. Remember back in Matot, last week, that portion began speaking about the laws of vows, validity and nullification of vows being the idea there that the passages elucidates. And of course, at the end of Matot, we learned of the children of Gad and Reuven, and actually half of Menashe as well, who desired to inherit the land on the other side of the Jordan. Moshe made a stipulation with them that if they enter the land and fight on behalf of their brothers and together with their brothers for the land, then they can receive the inheritance that they desire. And in fact, they did agree to that stipulation, and in fact, they kept the word, and not only did they fight for 7 years, they actually stayed for 7 more years until the land was divided amongst each tribe. Now, the end of the portion of Masei speaks of the 5 orphaned daughters of Tzelaphechad. They too desired an inheritance, and the inheritance that they desired was within the land of Israel, with the status of only daughters. And they also received a stipulation for their inheritance to be valid, and that was that they must marry within their tribe for 1 generation, and will have an eternal inheritance in the land. And they too agreed and fulfilled this condition. Really the whole world is dependent upon the fulfillment of our word. Everything that we desire also depends on our word. This is one of the deep lessons of the concept of vows. And God also keeps his word and stipulation. And whether we want the land on the other side of the Jordan, or hopefully we desire the land of Israel, we have to prove our word and our conviction with action. So because the children of Gad and Reuven did more than they say they would, and of course the daughters of Tzelaphechad did as they said they would, each one inherits the land that they desire. So too, as we conclude the book of Numbers, we ask God not only to fulfill the conditions that he made, and to do much more as well. Not only to fulfill those conditions, but to do much more. We ask him not only not to revert the world back to nothingness, but also to give us everlasting life in the land of Israel. And basically what this teaches us, what we see from Matot and Masei, from the children of Reuven and Gad, and from the daughters of Tzelaphechad, what we see is the ability for us really to say back to Hashem, if we can do more than you ask, then we please ask you to do more than you say that you would as well. And we ask that Hashem should bless us with words that are holy. Words that come out of our mouths should always be holy and bring us more than we deserve. And with this we conclude the book of Bemidbar, book of Numbers.